Have you ever wished you could go back in time or jump into the future? Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of time travel, from ancient myths to modern science. Let's explore how humans have imagined bending time. Time travel is the idea of moving through time, either into the past or into the future. Right now, it's a concept found mostly in philosophy and science fiction. In fiction, time travel usually happens through a special device called a time machine. This idea became popular thanks to H.G. Wells' famous 1895 novel, The Time Machine. But what about real life? Can time travel actually happen? Well, scientists still aren't sure if it's physically possible to go back into the past. If it could happen, it might cause serious problems with causality, meaning one event causing another. For example, what happens if you go back in time and change something that affects your own existence? On the other hand, forward time travel is something we already understand pretty well, especially through Einstein's theories of special and general relativity. For example, time passes slightly slower for astronauts in space than for people on Earth. But even then, with today's technology, we can only make time move a few milliseconds faster or slower, nothing more. There are some ideas in general relativity that suggest backward time travel might be possible in very special situations, like around a rotating black hole. But traveling to any point in time, at will, doesn't have strong support in physics. It usually comes up in theories involving quantum mechanics or wormholes. Interestingly, time travel isn't just a modern idea. Many ancient myths and stories also talk about people skipping time. In Hindu mythology, there's a story in the Vishnu Purana about King Raivata Kakudmi. He travels to heaven to meet the god Brahma, and when he returns to earth, he finds that many ages have passed. In Buddhism, the Pali Canon speaks about how time is different in heaven. One story tells of a disciple named Kumara Kassapa, who explains how time can feel very different depending on where you are. From Japan, there's the famous story of Urashima Taro, a young fisherman who visits an undersea palace. He stays there for only 3 days, but when he comes back to his village, 300 years have passed. His house is gone, his family is gone, he has been forgotten. In Jewish tradition, there are stories too. One tells of Moses being taken by God to the study hall of a future rabbi, where he's confused by how the religion has changed over time. Another is about Honi Hamagil, a miracle worker from the 1st century BC. One day, he sees a man planting a tree that would take 70 years to grow. Honi falls asleep, and when he wakes up, 70 years have passed. The tree is fully grown, but the man is gone, and his grandson is now picking the fruit. In Christian tradition, there's the story of the 7 sleepers of Ephesus. A group of Christians hide in a cave around 250 AD to escape persecution. They fall asleep, and when they wake up, 200 years have passed. The Roman Empire has changed, and it's now Christian. This same story also appears in Islam, in the Quran's Surah Al-Kahf, where a group of young believers hide in a cave and wake up centuries later. Islam also tells the story of Uzair, also known as Ezra. After seeing Jerusalem destroyed, he is so full of grief that God takes his soul. When he's brought back to life, Jerusalem has been rebuilt. He returns, but no one knows him, except a now blind maid who regains her sight when he prays for her. He even meets his own son, now older than him, who recognizes him from a birthmark. Now let's go back to science. Some solutions to Einstein's equations in general relativity suggested time travel could be possible if certain conditions in space-time are met. These include ideas like closed time-like curves, where an object could travel in a loop and end up in its own past. One example is Gödel spacetime, but these are just mathematical ideas. Whether they're physically real is still unclear.
Allowing backward time travel would also cause causality problems, like the famous grandfather paradox, where someone travels back in time and stops their own ancestor from being born. This leads to logical contradictions. Some scientists, like Novikov and Deutsch, believe these paradoxes can be avoided. One idea is the self-consistency principle, where only events that don't cause contradictions are allowed. Another is the many worlds theory, where time travel creates parallel timelines. But here's another point. Some people say that the fact we've never met a time traveler proves it's impossible. It's like the Fermi paradox. If aliens exist, why haven't we seen them? But just like that, the absence of time travelers doesn't prove they don't exist. Maybe time travel is real, but hasn't been invented yet. Or maybe it exists and is being used very carefully. The famous scientist Carl Sagan once said that maybe time travelers are here, but we just don't recognize them, or they're hiding on purpose. Some theories in relativity suggest that even if time travel becomes possible, it might only work inside specific regions of space-time, like a bubble. This means that time travelers might not be able to go back before that bubble was created. Stephen Hawking believed this could explain why we aren't surrounded by tourists from the future. In fact, a few fun experiments were done to try and invite time travelers. There was the Time Traveler Convention at MIT, Perth's Destination Day, and even Stephen Hawking's reception for time travelers, where he sent out invitations only after the event, hoping that someone from the future would show up. There was also a group in 1982 called the Chrononauts in Baltimore, who hosted a similar event. Sadly, no time travelers are known to have shown up, at least not in our timeline. However, according to many worlds theory, it's possible that time travelers did come, but in a parallel universe, not this one. So, what do you think? Is time travel just a dream, or could it one day become real? Whether it's through science, stories, or spiritual beliefs, the idea of moving through time continues to fascinate and inspire us. Time travel may still be a mystery, but it keeps our curiosity alive. If you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories